Hey everyone, in this video I'll show you how to create this clean and modern login page using CustomTkinter in Python. We'll build it step by step, no shortcuts, no confusion, just simple logic and neat design. So if you are just starting with Python's UI, this is the perfect project to learn and have fun. Let's jump right in. So I'll start by showing you the demo of this project. So every time I will run this project, you will see different colors on the UI. So we will learn how to do that. Then if you are not entering any username or password and directly try to log in, it says please fill in all fields, right? So if I'm entering a wrong username and wrong password, and you see this button, so if you'll click on it, it will help you to show password and hide password, right? And then you have this login. Once you log in, if you have entered invalid credentials, it will say invalid login attempts 1, right? Then if you are entering again the long credentials and try to log in, it says invalid login attempts 2. Okay, so in total you will get 3 attempts. So if you are entering the wrong username and password 3 times, then too many attempts and you will be blocked. You won't be able to log in again, right? So in order to log in again, you will have to restart the app, right? So this functionality you must have seen in different applications, right? Different professional applications. So if you are not able to enter the correct username and password 3 times, then you will be blocked. So I'm going to enter the correct username and correct password this time. Okay, so once I log in, you see welcome admin. Once I'll click OK, I'll be able to see a different page, right? So this is the quiz app, but we will not be covering this quiz app in this tutorial. This one we will cover later on. So for now, let's focus on the login page. So you can attach any application of your choice with this login page, right? So I hope you liked it. Uh, just like this video and let me know in the comment section if you want any modifications in this login page, right? So let's get started. Let's see how we can build everything from scratch. So I'm going to use PyCharm for writing the code. Make sure you have PyCharm and Python already installed on your PC. If not PyCharm, then any other editor like VS Code or even Python ideally will work. Okay. So after you open PyCharm, you have to go to File, select New Project, then give a project folder name in place of this, and then choose your Python interpreter from here, whichever you have, and then click on create. Okay, so once you'll do that, you will see a window like this. Okay, and then what you have to do, you have to create a new file. So go to new and then go to Python file and give a name here like login. So if sometimes this doesn't become a Python file, so you can just simply overwrite file type, and from here you can select Python. Okay, so now this becomes a Python file. It might not happen for you. Next thing is, here we will write our code. So for creating the graphical user interface, we have one library which is known as tkinter, but tkinter UI is outdated, means it doesn't look very nice. So there is enhanced version of tkinter which is CustomTkinter. So we will be using that. So that is an external module, so we will be installing it. So go to your terminal and here you need to type pip install CustomTkinter. Okay, and hit enter. So it's already installed for me, so that's why it says requirement already satisfied. But if it's not installed for you, you can install from here. If this terminal doesn't work for you, then you might see Python packages option. So these two options might be on the left hand side for you here at this position. Okay, so here you can search for CustomTkinter and just click on install button that you will see here. I hope this is clear. This is easy. Once the installation is done, then you need to import the file. So you have to write from CustomTkinter import asterisk. So you are simply importing this CustomTkinter file in your code so that you can easily use the classes and the methods of this file into your code. Okay, and with the help of those classes and methods, you will be able to create the graphical user interface very easily. All right. So to create the graphical user interface, I mean the window, what you have to do, you have to write like this, CTK, and you have to create the object. Okay, so this is known as a class and this is known as an object. Okay, and then after writing this line, you have to write window.main loop, main loop, like this. Okay, just these two lines are enough for you to create a window. Now in order to run this code, you have to right click and run login. So you can see a window is created for us. So currently this window has this width and this height, right? So we need to change it. So there is a method inside the CTK class that we can use for setting the width and the height of our window, which is known as geometry. So we'll write window.geometry, and here we will pass the width and the height. So width is 400, cross 450, height. Okay, this is the width and the height that I have used in my original project. So now the window size is changed to this, right? Next we need to change the title. So by default you see CTK title. We'll change it to login UI. So again we'll write window.title. Okay, and here we'll pass the title in the form of a string like this, login UI. Okay, the title is changed. Then we have this maximize button which will maximize the window, but we want the window of fixed size. So for that we have window dot resizable method, and here we'll pass false value for the width and false value for the height. So now this button is disabled, so window is of fixed size. You won't be able to change the window size, right? So you can imagine this as something which has lots of things right inside it. So all this geometry, title, resizable, these are the functions which have some functionality, right? So all this are a part of the CTK class. Okay, so, this is a class inside which you have different methods. All these methods provide you different functionality. All are related with graphical user interface, right? All help in creating the graphical user interface. I hope this is clear. And you have to write everything just before this main loop, okay? Because this main loop simply keeps everything on loop, all this code on a loop. So if you'll write anything after this, that will only work once you'll close the window. I'll show you. So you see Faizan is not getting printed. So once I close the window, then only Faizan will be printed. So anything just after this main loop will not work. It will only work once you close the window, right? I hope this is clear. So after this, I'll just create a login frame. Okay. If I'll show you the original project. So you see this is the frame, right? So we'll create this frame in a window, and then inside the frame we will be adding all these stuff. Okay, all these are known as widgets in CustomTkinter, right? So this entry field where you will write your username, this password field, and this button, this label, and on that label you are adding an icon. So all this is nothing but widgets in CustomTkinter. Okay, so let's create this frame. So in CustomTkinter, you can create a frame using the CTK frame class. Okay, so you have classes and methods for everything. So where you want to see this frame, this should be inside my window. So we'll pass window here. We'll name this frame login frame like this. And if you will run at this stage, you won't be able to see that frame, because after creating the frame you also need to position it. So where you want to see this frame, so we'll write login frame dot pack method. Okay, so there are actually three methods which help in positioning something on your window. First is this pack. You see, this pack will simply place it at the top center by default. Okay, and if you will pack something again, that will be packed just after this frame. Okay, if we just pack one more frame, suppose I'll just copy this code and will paste here. If I run this, you'll see it will be packed just below this one, right? To the pack, we can mention the side, left, right, top, bottom. Okay, so pack is generally used when you have a clean UI or simple UI where you have to place things either at the top, at the bottom, on the left, or on the right hand side, or one after the other, right? Then you can use the pack method. Then there is also a grid method, which helps you to add things in the form of rows and columns. So instead of pack, you wish to use grid, then you can use that. So here you will mention the row value as 0, column value as 0, because this is the first thing we are adding on our window. So we'll mention row 0, column 0. So it will add it here. Okay, if we mention row 1, row 2, so accordingly it will work. So I'll just show you. If I paste the same thing and if I mention row 1, so this time you will see it below that, right? If you mention column 1, then you will see it at column 1, right? So this is column 0, till here it's column 0, then column 1 is starting from here. So this way you will be able to use the grid method. Then after grid you have the place method, the third method, which is used to position something at some particular position. Like I'll show you, I'll use place method, and here we need to mention the x value and the y value. So when you have to position something at a specific position, then you will use this place method. Like if you want at particular distance like 100 and y 100, so you can use that. I hope this is clear. Okay, so I'll just start with pack only. So this will be placed at the top center position by default, like this. And then I'll set the width and the height of this frame. Okay, so here we'll mention width as 340 and then the height as 360. These are the values that I've used in my original project. And then I'll mention the corner radius as 20. So this is how it looks now, right? Then I need some spacing. I want this frame in the center position, right? So for that I can mention pad y, vertical padding of 50. So this will add top 50 and bottom 50 spacing. All right, so this is how it looks now. After that, we have to create a logo here, right? A user logo. For that, we'll be creating a label. So label is created using the CTK label class, and this label should be inside my login frame, right? So we'll pass login frame here. So you saw that this login frame was inside our window, and now this label is getting added inside this login frame, right? So login frame is simply a container where we can add different widgets. Then the text on this label will be an emoji. So if you are using Windows, then you can press the window key and dot key. Once you do that, you will see the result like this. Here you can search for the emoji. So you'll mention user and you'll get this emoji, right? So just click on it and this will be added simply like this. Okay, and make sure you add it in the form of a string. Okay, and then you can just name this label. So you can call it logo, and then using this logo you can pack this. So why I'm using pack here, because if you see the original project, everything is packed uh, one after the other, right? Firstly this, then this, then this, and then this button. So here the UI is very simple, right? Very clean UI, very simple UI. So here we will prefer using pack. It's easier to use, right? So we'll just pack it. So this label will appear at the top center inside this frame, right? So if we run this, so you see this is how it looks, right? So what we have to do, we have to increase the font for this icon. So we'll mention font, and here we'll mention the style as Arial, and then we'll mention the size as 100. So if we don't mention the style, I think yeah, so if you don't mention the style, then we'll be getting error. So font, when you're writing font, you have to mention the name of the font and then the size in pixels, right? So that's why you'll have to mention this Arial or any other style. It won't have any effect on the logo because this is just an image, right? But if it was a text, then this would have an effect on it. I hope this is clear. And then you see the frame is shrink, right? It has taken the size of this logo, but once we add more things inside this frame, its size will automatically increase. So after this logo, we have to add this username entry field, and then the password entry field, and then this toggle button, right, for showing and hiding the password. So after this logo, we'll create login entry, and the entry field is created using CTK entry class, and this has to be inside my login frame. Okay, then I'll add the placeholder text. Okay, the text you will see there in the entry field before entering the text. So it will be enter username like this, and then I'll just pack it. So I'll write login entry dot pack. Okay, now let's run and see. So you see, this is how the entry field is created. Okay, we'll provide the width and the height to this entry field. So here we'll write width equals to 250 and height equals to 40. So this width and the height I have used in my original project, so I'm using the same here like this, and then I'll add corner radius and the border width. So I'll add corner radius of 10 pixels. So you have the corner radius, and then border width and the border color. So border width equals to 2. Okay, and then the border color. So color we will be adding a bit later after creating the GUI. Okay, and you see we don't have spacing between this logo and this login entry. So to provide the space, we'll mention pad y equals to 20. So this will add 20 spacing at the top and 20 spacing at the bottom, right? Something like this, right? Now, similar to this, user entry will create password entry. Actually, this has to be user entry and not login entry. User entry or username entry. Okay, we should always add meaningful names so it's clear for us, like what is that field. Now I'll copy this code and we'll paste here, and we'll rename this to password entry, because password entry will also be created in the similar way only, right? So this time the placeholder text will be changed to enter password. Width, height, corner radius, border width, everything will be same. Now if you run it, yeah, so this is how it looks, right? Now in between these two entry fields we need spacing. So to this one I'll mention pad y equals to 20. So this will add spacing at the top and at the bottom, right? And we also need spacing between this frame and these entry fields, right? So for that we can mention pad x here. So pad x is the horizontal spacing, so it will add from the left and the right 40 pixels spacing, like this. Okay, and after that we want a toggle button here. Okay, which will help in showing and hiding the password. So we'll write here toggle button, this is the name, and the button is created using the CTK button class, and this button has to be inside my login frame. Then the text on this button will again be an emoticon. Okay, so you have to press a window key and dot button, and you can search for monkey, right? So like this. So this can be used for show password, right? And this can be used for hide password, right? So we'll use this one. So just click on it and this will be added. Then provide the font to this icon. So I'll write font equals to styling, any styling, and then the size will be 20. Okay, like this. And then I'll just place it. This time I'm gonna use place. Why place? Because I want this inside the entry field on the right hand side, so I want it at a one particular position, right? So that's why I'm using place here. Okay, if you'll use pack or grid, that will not work. Okay, if I'm using pack, let's say if I'm using pack, and firstly let me show you how this will look. So you see here we are getting it, right? I want it at this position here. Okay, so if I mention the side equals to left, then also it won't work. Okay, if I mention side equals to right, then also it won't be going at this particular position. I hope this is clear, right? So instead of pack, we'll be using place. So when we are using place, then we have to mention x and the y values. So x that I have used in my original project is 245, and y that I have used is 218. Okay, you can play with these values to see the exact position. Okay, like this. And then I want to reduce the width. Okay, so minimal width that you can use is width equals to 10. Okay, so if I run this, you see the width is changed, right? And then we'll change this blue color, so we'll make it transparent. So here we'll mention uh, FG color. FG color is the color that you see, right? So we'll keep it to transparent, like this. Okay, so when we'll add the color to this emoji, then that will look better. And I'll also remove the hover, so I'll make the hover as false, so that when we bring our mouse pointer on it, so there is no change in the color. like this, right? And then just below it we will be adding our login button. So again the button will be created in the similar way. So we'll name it login button equals to CTK button class. We'll use that same class. This will be inside my login frame. Then the text on the button will be login, right? And then we'll provide width to the button as 200. Then we'll provide height to the button as 40. Then we'll provide corner radius to the button as 20. So all these values, it's up to you what you want to add and what you don't want to add, right? And then I'll just provide font for the text. So the style will be Arial and size of the text will be 16, like this. I'll just minimize this, right? And then I'll just pack it. So I'll write login button dot pack, and from the top I'll add 10 pixels, and from the bottom I'll add 30 pixels of padding. So it has to be pad y equals to this. Okay, so pad y equals to in the form of a tuple 10 from the top and 30 from the bottom. So if you're mentioning just one value, that will be applied to both top and bottom. If you want to mention two values, different values, then you can add like this. Now let's add colors so that this looks more beautiful. So for adding the colors, we will be creating a list of dictionary, so that every time we run the code we see a different color, right? And before that I want to set the mode of this app to light. Okay, so that these colors will look nicer on the light mode. For that you have to use this set appearance mode, and here you have to mention dark or light. So if I mention dark, you will see the dark mode here, right? So if you prefer dark mode, then you can go with this. Then you don't need to add any extra colors, right? If you want to go with the light theme or light mode, then you can choose light, like this, right? So it's up to you. So I'll choose light mode and I'll add the colors that I have added in my original project. So I'll just create a list of dictionaries. So I'll name it themes equals to list, right? And here we'll create dictionary, and here we'll mention mean color as the key and its value. This is its value. Okay, then we'll mention hover color. So when you'll bring your mouse pointer on the login button, then you will see this color. This one. And then frame color. This color you will see on the frame. Like this. Okay, after adding these three colors inside one dictionary, in the same way you can add multiple colors. Okay, so just copy this and paste here. You can change these colors. So after adding all the colors, this is how it will look. So you can pause this video and add these colors into your dictionaries, right? Once you are done with this, then you want to see a different color every time you run your code, right? So for that, you have to import random module. It's an inbuilt module, so just import it like this, import random. After that, I'll randomly choose a theme from this themes, right? And will store in some variable like selected theme. Okay, so every time you will see a different selected theme, you can just print it. So you'll say it. If I run this, so every time you will run it, you will see different dictionary, right? Now you can apply this main color on the border of the entry fields, on the button, right? And this hover color on the button, then this frame color on the frame, right? So this way you can add it. So let's see how we can add it. I'll just remove this print from here. I'll start with this login frame, right? So here we'll mention FG color, which is the color that you see, right? And here we'll take this selected theme, okay? And in square brackets, we'll mention the frame color key like this. So when you're writing like this, what you are going to get? You are going to get this value, right? Because this is a dictionary selected theme, right? This is the complete dictionary, and from this dictionary you are choosing this frame color, its value, right? So you will get its value here. So that will become the FG color for you. I hope this is clear. If I run this, you can see the frame color is changed. Now if I run it again, if I run it again, you see the color is changed. So every time you'll see a different color. Okay, also I'll just fix the window on my screen. So from the left hand side, I'll keep the window at 100 distance, and from the top I'll keep the window at 100 distance. So now every time you will run your code, it will be at fixed position from the left and the top. Okay, now you also need to change the logo color. Here we'll mention text color. Okay, this text here, it's an emoticon, but it's a text color, right? So text color equals to selected theme, and here we'll choose the main color. Okay, so now if I run this, so this is how it will look. Okay, I hope this is clear, right? This is our main color. Then I'll apply this main color on the border, so to this border and to this border. So to place multiple cursors in PyCharm, you can press Alt key and mouse left button, and here you can add border color, right? So border color will be selected theme, and in square brackets you'll mention the key, and the key is main color, right? After this, on this toggle button also, we'll be using that main color only. So here also you have text, so we'll add text color. So text color will be selected theme, and in square brackets it will be main color. Okay, so this main color we are adding on this logo, on the borders of these two fields, on this toggle button, and will be added on this button, login button, right? Now onto this login button you'll mention FG color. FG color is the color that you see inside a button, right, or inside a frame. So here it will be selected theme and square brackets main color. Okay, we also have the hover color, right? So hover color will also be added inside this button. So we'll mention hover color, and this will be selected theme, and in square brackets we'll mention hover color key. I hope this is clear to you. Now if I run this, so when I bring my mouse pointer, you see this is the hover color. Okay, now every time you will run, you'll see different colors. Okay, so I hope this is clear. So the GUI is ready with the coloring, right? Now let's work on the functionality. So right now I'm clicking on this login button, but nothing is happening because we have not added any functionality to the button. So this is our login button, right? We'll move it to a new line so that's clear to you. And at the end, I'll just add a command equals to perform login. Okay. So this is nothing but a function name. So whenever you will click on this button, login button, this function code will be executed. So at the top here, I'll just define this function def perform login. Okay, I'll just print firstly hello just to show you how this is working. So as soon as I'll click on this login, you see hello is getting printed, right? So every time I'll click on it, hello will be printed. But instead of printing hello, what we have to do? We have to get the values from the entry fields, right? So we have two entry fields, username entry and this password entry, right? So to get the values that the user will type in these fields, how we can get the values? So the way is you have to use the name dot get method. So with the help of this, you will be able to get the value. We can store that value in some variable like username. Similarly, using the password entry dot get, you will get the value that the user will type in the password entry, so that we can store in some variable like password. Now if we print these two variables, username comma password, if we run it, so if I click directly, so we are not seeing anything, but we are getting null values, right? Because we have not entered anything. But as soon as I'll enter in the username Fazan and in the password 1234, if I click on login, you see the first value was here at this position, and the second result we are getting at this position. So this was the blank result, that's why we are not seeing anything. But here we have entered the values, so that we are seeing here the username and the password. I hope this is clear. So by default, we are seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, which shouldn't be the case. We should see asterisk. Okay. But when we'll click on this button, then only the toggle or the switching should happen. Okay. But this is not working currently because we have not added any functionality to it. So by default, we want this password entry to show asterisk when we type anything inside it. So write show equals to asterisk like this. Okay. Now if you run this, once you type anything inside it and inside this will show you asterisk, and once you click on login, you'll see the exact thing, right? Because you are printing the values. Instead of printing, what we have to do? So firstly, we'll check if the username and password is empty or not, right? So we'll write if not username or not password. Okay, if you're not getting any username or not getting any password, in that case we'll show a message box, right? So how can we display the message box? So message box is a part of tkinter. So from tkinter we will import message box. Okay, once you import it, then you will be able to use the message box and will show warning. Okay, show warning. So first thing we need to enter is the title and then the message. So title will be empty fields and the message will be please fill in all fields, like this. Now if you run this, if you're not entering anything, then the if condition will become true and you will see this, please fill in all the fields, and this is the title empty fields. Okay, and we'll just return from here. Okay, so if this condition will become true, then we'll see this warning and we'll return. Okay, but if this condition is not true, then we'll check this one, that if username is equals to Faizan, here you can mention your name, and password equals to 1234. Okay, if the username matches with this username and password matches with this password, then we will see a login success message. Okay, so we'll write message box dot show info this time. Firstly the title, so the title is login success and the message is welcome. Okay, and welcome, and then if you want to add the username also, so you can mention here username. So you will see welcome username, I mean whatever will match this value, that you will see. So it will be welcome Faizan. Okay, so let's check this. If I'm entering anything random, I mean wrong, now if I click on login, nothing will happen because we have not added the condition what will happen if we enter wrong details, right? So that's why we are not seeing anything. But if we enter the correct username and the correct password, now if I log in, it says welcome Faizan, right? So we are seeing the correct functionality. Now if this is not true, if this is not true, it means the user is entering the wrong username or wrong password or both, right? In that case, we'll go to the else part, and in the else part we'll show the message box and we'll show error this time. Title will be error or login failed, and the message will be invalid credentials, like this. Okay, we'll be adding more to it, like how many login attempts are left, but for now let me just show you quickly. So if you are entering anything wrong, then it says invalid credentials, right? Right now we have not added max login attempts functionality, so let's add that. So I'll create a variable here, attempts, that will initially have 0 value. Okay, inside this function I'll modify its value. So if we are going in the else part, it means the user is entering wrong username and password, right? Once that is happening, we will increase the value of this attempts by 1. Okay, but you cannot modify a variable which is outside the function inside a function, right? For that, you have to make that variable as global. For modifying the variable which is defined outside the function inside the function, you have to make that variable as global. I hope you know this concept, right? So now you will be able to modify this variable value. Okay, so we'll increase its value by 1, and then we can check here that if this attempts value is greater than or equals to 3. Okay, if it is greater than or equals to 3, in that case we will simply disable the login button, so that user is not able to click on the login button further. So we'll write configure. Configure is used to update something, right? So we'll update the login button state. So we'll write state equals to disabled, like this. Okay, so once attempts value goes greater than or equals to 3, login button will simply be disabled. Okay, and you will also see the message box will show warning, title will be blocked, and the message will be too many attempts, like this. Let's run and see. So if I'm entering wrong credentials and wrong password, if I click on login, it says invalid credentials. We also should see uh, that how many attempts you have done, right? So invalid credentials. After this, we can modify this message. We'll use f string here. We'll add attempts, and we'll use this attempts variable. So this will show you how many attempts you have done. So if I'm entering the wrong username and wrong password, login, invalid credentials attempts 1, right? Then invalid credentials attempt 2, invalid credentials attempt 3, right? So too many attempts, and this is disabled, right? So after this is disabled, we want to close it actually, right? We should close it. Too many attempts, goodbye, something like this, right? Or we are exiting the app, exiting, exiting, something like this, right? So, and then we should also exit it, right? So to exit it, you have to write window dot destroy. So this will close the app. I hope this is clear. So when you are entering the wrong username and wrong password and try to log in, invalid credentials attempt 1, invalid credentials attempt 2, invalid credentials attempt 3, and too many attempts exiting. Once you click on OK, your app will be closed. Okay, I hope this is clear. We can also mention that how many attempts are left, right? So if we do it like that, then initially we have to set the attempts value, like there are 3 attempts, and then whenever you are entering the wrong credentials, the attempt should decrease instead of increase, right? So I'll just decrease by 1, and then we can show something like this, that invalid credentials, these many attempts left. Okay, and then we can check that if this value is less than or equals to 0, okay, then we'll just disable it and we'll show this. Let's see how this works. So if I'm entering the wrong username and wrong password, invalid credentials, 2 attempts left, right? This is better, I guess. Invalid credentials, 1 attempt left, right? Invalid credentials, 0 attempts left, too many attempts exiting, right? So I hope you understood that initially attempts value is 3, right? Then inside this function, when you are entering the wrong credentials, attempts value will keep on decreasing by 1. Once it reaches 0, then the state of the button will be disabled and you will see too many attempts and exiting, and our window will be closed. Okay, and on every wrong attempt you will see this invalid credentials and these many attempts left, right? And now after this we will be working on this toggle password functionality, right? So we'll pass a command to this toggle button. So here we'll mention command equals to toggle password. Okay, this is again a function, so we need to define it at the top. So you can define it after this perform login or before it. Okay, it doesn't matter, so we'll define it after it. So def toggle password. So firstly we'll check if the password is currently hidden. So we'll write if password entry dot cget. Okay, and here we'll pass the property which is show, right? So this gets the current character used to hide the password. Okay, we'll check whether this is equals to asterisk. If it is asterisk, it means the password is hidden using asterisks, right? So if it is hidden by asterisk, then we'll remove the asterisk. So we'll write password entry dot configure. Configure is used to update something, and here we'll update the show as null. Okay, will not hide the password using asterisk. Okay, if it is hidden, if the password is hidden, then we'll unhide it. I hope you are getting this. So now the real password will be visible. Let me show you. So if I'm entering a username and then if I'm entering a password, okay, now if I click on it, so it firstly checked whether it was hidden by asterisk, and if it was hidden by asterisk, this if condition will become true, right? This condition will become true, and then what it has done, it has removed the asterisk. Okay, hidden character asterisk. So once it has removed the asterisk, we are now able to see the password, real password. Okay, it is now visible. Then we also need to change the toggle button icon. So we'll write toggle button dot configure. We'll update the icon, right? So we'll write text equals to, and we'll press window and dot key, and we'll use this icon. Okay, this is for hiding. So now once you will enter the password and we'll click on it, you can see that this is changed. So icon is changed to closed eyes monkey, meaning the password is visible and clicking again will hide it. Okay, but it is not hiding currently. So we'll write the else of it. Else, if the password was already visible, we now want to hide it again, right? So I'll write password entry dot configure, and here we'll add show equals to asterisk, like this. This line brings back the asterisk to hide the password. Okay, and then we also need to toggle this, so we'll add that image again, the original one, right? So we'll use this image again. So now open-eyed monkey will be visible, which means the password is hidden. Okay, so now if I enter the value, once I click this, you see hidden eyed monkey, and once I click it again, you see open-eyed monkey. Okay, so this functionality is also completed. Now after your login is successful. You want to see your own app, right? So what you have to do here, your login is getting successful, right? So after this message box, what I want to firstly close this login window. So we'll write window dot destroy, right? This will close the window, and then we will import our code. Okay, suppose you want to import this calculator after this login is successful, right? So we'll write import and then the file name, which is calculator underscore v3. Now if I run this, as soon as I enter the correct credentials, welcome Faizan, once I click OK, that window got closed and this new window of calculator open, and here you can use your calculator. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you. So if you found this tutorial helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss any future projects. And if you want to see a full tutorial on a quiz app or any other Python GUI projects, let me know in the comments below. You can also check out the project playlist on my channel. There is a lot more waiting for you. And if you need any help, my contact details are in the description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Happy coding.